Welcome to day 4 of our 7-day transformational manifestation program. Now, with today being the middle point of this 7-day process, it is fitting that the topic of today is the fulcrum on which everything else balances. Once you have mastered the skills that we're talking about in today's video, you will have everything you need to be able to manifest whatever you want into your life. However, you will want to continue till the end of this program because in the next 3 days, I'm going to show you how best to use this power so that you can get the most out of it. So, today's video, as you know, the foundation of manifesting is all based on the fact that our beliefs become our experience. What we believe inside ourselves is reflected in the world outside of ourselves. What we believe to be true becomes true. A lot of different ways that we can express this same idea. Life is a mirror. Life reflects back to us the essence of who we are inside. Our consciousness, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And our beliefs are the major factor there. So, belief, faith, confidence, expectation, all of these words refer to the same basic thing. A sense that something is going to happen. Now, a lot of people use this unconsciously, and sometimes they imagine negative things happening, and they get worried, they get afraid, and they start to fear what could happen, and they cause negative things to happen in their lives because they expect those negative things to happen in their lives. What we are doing in this program is we are learning to take control of our beliefs so that we can choose what to believe, choose to expect the things that we actually want. And the more we can control our expectations, the more we can control our belief, the more we can control our faith, the more we are in charge of our lives, the more we can control what happens in our lives. And so that is why today's video is going to be all about how we can address this aspect of belief and faith as directly as we possibly can. Now, as we have already covered, there are a few different ways that we can influence our beliefs. We can change what we believe by focusing on a clear-cut idea of what we want to manifest and imagine that end result that we desire in as much detail as we possibly can. And by making this decision and focusing on what we want, that is a great way to shift our beliefs so that we can truly expect the outcome that we want. But this is only one way of working with beliefs. I believe that it is one of the most effective ways, but there are other ways of working with beliefs. If you like the idea of going in and working directly with your beliefs, it can be an incredibly fast process. In fact, I talked a little bit about this in a different video. I'm going to go ahead and link to it right here. It's a minor video. You really don't have to watch that one. But I talk about this tool that we can use called a belief scale that can not only measure the strength of what beliefs you have now, but you can also use the same tool to essentially take hold of that belief and make it stronger directly. It's an interesting process. It's one that can work very, very well. I've played with it. I know that it works for me. It's an option for you to choose as well. However, again, it's only one choice. So we can visualize what we want. We can take hold of a measuring tool to communicate to our subconscious mind, increase the level of belief in this idea. And there is another process that a lot of people know about called affirmations. The way that most people use affirmations, they will create this phrase that expresses what they want as if it's currently happening. I am now a multimillionaire. That might be the statement they have. I am now in a happy, healthy, loving relationship. I am now expressing rich, vibrant health in my body. These are typical statements that can be used as affirmations. And what most people will do is they will repeat these affirmations over and over and over and over again, dozens and sometimes even hundreds of times, in an attempt to get it to stick into the subconscious mind. And eventually they do work. There are better ways of doing affirmations, though. One way that I've taught for quite a number of years, probably about 15 years now, since about 2008, when I wrote the book, Choose to Believe. And the idea is something that I learned from NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, based on an idea called pacing and leading. The idea of pacing and leading, usually in a two-person context, when one person is talking to another, if the person talking starts out by saying things that are obviously true, like, you are now watching this video, I am attempting to teach you how to manifest your desires. You see a nice, beautiful nature background behind me. All these different things that would be obviously true. That's the pacing part of the process. Usually, if you are in some other environment, you might say, okay, we've now been sitting here, we're doing this, we're doing that, we hear this kind of thing going on around us. That's how it's generally taught. And then once you have paced current reality for a few statements, could be 3 statements, could be 5 statements, could be any number, but at least a few. Once you have paced current reality for a few statements, then you introduce a new idea, something that's not obviously true, but something that could potentially be true. And so by doing this pacing and leading process, usually the person speaking is able to influence and persuade the person listening to believe something new. Sometimes this is used in sales, sometimes it's used in counseling sessions, sometimes it's used in psychotherapy. There are a lot of positive uses for this process. Well, when I learned about this, I recognized that this is something that we can do for ourselves with affirmations. And so pacing and leading affirmations, the basic idea here is that you put together a list of statements. You start out with maybe 3 or 4 pacing statements, things that you know to be absolute facts. I know that my name is Alan. I know that I'm a human being. I know that I'm living on planet Earth. I know that the sky is blue. Things that are obviously true. And then you add in your leading statement, the thing you would like to manifest, like, I am now a multimillionaire. I am now in a happy, healthy, loving relationship. I am now expressing rich, vibrant health in my body. Those types of leading statements become much more effective when they are combined with pacing statements. I recently saw a video on YouTube. Somebody else was kind of talking about this general idea, and I think he called it an affirmation sandwich. Because what he did is he started out with a couple of pacing statements, then he suggested the leading statement, then he suggested going back to a pacing statement at the end. And by wrapping the leading statement with pacing statements before and after, that makes it a little bit more acceptable to the subconscious mind. Same basic idea. The way I generally teach the pacing and leading, it kind of works out the same anyways, because you do 3 or 4 pacing statements, you do the leading statement, then you go back to the pacing statements again, and you cycle through that a few times. And so the leading statement does get surrounded on both sides with the pacing statements. So that's the idea of pacing and leading. And the basic principle here, and this is what I really want to get to with this, is the principle, is that when you hear statements that are obviously true, things that you can verify by what you see around you, things that you know to be absolute facts, when you hear such statements or when you speak such statements, there is an emotional response within you. Your subconscious mind recognizes the truth of what's being said and basically responds with a feeling of, yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's true. That is reality. Those types of thoughts and feelings are happening in the subconscious mind as the pacing statements are being said, whether they're being said by someone else or by yourself. So this feeling aspect, this feeling response that comes up when pacing statements are said, that emotional response stays in place when the leading statement is being said. So if the pacing statement brings up this feeling and then a leading statement is said, it's almost like that leading statement is being placed in a bubble of energy, positive energy that represents truth and reality. And then this feeling gets connected, gets associated with the new statement. And so our minds work by association. And so when you link the new idea to the ideas and feelings of truth and reality, then it gets locked into your mind as being a more true statement than it was just a moment ago. That is why pacing and leading works the way it does. Okay, all of that is to get to this next point. You really needed to know the background. I promise you, it all helps. So, one thing that I have been working on over the last couple of years is to find newer, faster, more powerful ways to shift our beliefs. And even though pacing and leading affirmations is a good way of doing it, there is something even more powerful than that. And it can be at least as powerful as what I have been teaching in this program. And it also has the potential to be even more powerful. And this is something that I call faith anchoring. We take the basic principles of pacing and leading and we amplify it. So to do this faith anchoring, and here again, I'm going to link to another video because I did a video specifically on this one topic. That video will go into more detail than I can do right here. But here's the basics. To do this faith anchoring process, you start out by bringing up a feeling of faith and confidence. And you can do this by thinking about things that are already true. You can do it by focusing on physical objects in your environment. I mean, if you're sitting at a desk, you can feel the desk and reaffirm within yourself, this desk exists. This desk is real. This is reality. And you can look at things, you can feel things, you can touch things. I mean, even your physical body, you can listen to things and just mentally affirm, this is real, this is real, this is real. How does that feeling of reality feel within yourself? And this is also something that was in that other video that I talked about with the belief scale. All of this works together. So by focusing on what is currently true and real, and focusing on how you feel about that truth and reality, and then contrast that with the feeling that you get with things that are purely fiction and imaginary, and go back and forth between those two different kinds of ideas for a little bit. Identify that feeling that you get when things are true and real, and then focus on that feeling. Focus on that feeling of truth, the feeling of reality. And then, as we did yesterday, imagine that feeling growing stronger. Imagine that feeling becoming much more powerful, a much more powerful experience, absolute truth, absolute reality. And really anchor in that feeling of faith. And then once you have built up that feeling of faith as strongly as you can, as powerfully as you can, continue to push it as far as you can. Continue to push it even further, even further. Allow yourself to get used to that level of feeling and then push it even more. Because the stronger you can get that feeling of faith, confidence, this is absolutely true, absolute reality, that is the power that can produce miracles. So when you have built up that level of faith within yourself that whatever you are thinking about at that moment, this is true, this is reality, whatever. Bring that same feeling to bear on a new focus, the thing you would like to manifest. Take that massive, powerful feeling of faith that you have developed within yourself, and then concentrate all of that power into a single line of thought about what you would like to manifest and claim and affirm as much as you can in a single statement. This desired outcome is going to happen. One way or another, this is going to manifest. And I realize that as I'm saying this, that some people are going to take issue with the phrase, this is going to happen, because a lot of people are taught you have to think about it as happening in the moment. BS. You don't have to. It helps to imagine things in the moment, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. But what we're doing now doesn't have to be that way. I have had a lot of success by saying, when Saturday comes, we are going to have positive, happy, sunny weather. We're going to have beautiful weather this coming weekend. You can project things into the future. It is perfectly possible. So focus on the thing you would like to manifest. Bring up that feeling of faith, apply all of that power into this one idea, and imagine and affirm that this is going to manifest. This is my future reality. And as much as possible, if you think that you have any belief whatsoever that it can manifest instantly, as in this exact moment, go ahead and imagine it happening right here, right now. This is happening now. This is happening now. This is happening now. And even for things that do take a little time to develop, it is perfectly possible to say, I am setting things in motion now that will lead to this outcome. It's like pushing a row of dominoes. All you have to do is hit that first one. And once you hit that first one, it's a chain of events, and the last one will eventually fall. In this process of manifesting, we are building up the power of faith within ourselves. And as you already know from this program, at the core of your being, you are divine. You have the power of miracles within you. And all you have to do is open yourself up to that power. Let that power come forward and release that power into your intentions. And when you have that process working for you, where you can bring up that power from within and direct it to what you want, you can manifest anything. Okay, so we've covered all that. Now, that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to talk about today. The last thing for today's video is to go through another guided session. So, boy, we built up a lot of strong energy here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We can do this with all this powerful faith energy. It is absolutely wonderful. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we can bring all of this faith energy into our guided session. So go ahead and just relax your body. Your mind can stay just as active as it is. Just relax your body and allow yourself to focus your mind on that inner space within yourself. And remember going into that divine essence within yourself. And remember what it feels like to concentrate all of your focus on a single point. And allow yourself to focus on a point and concentrate all of your attention, all of your focus, all of your energy, all of your power into this single point. And feel yourself merging with this point of power within yourself. And imagine that you're just releasing everything that you no longer need. For the moment, release the connection with the outer world. Separate from the outer world. Connect with the world within. And allow yourself to release everything you no longer need. Again, we are going to set an intention and manifest a process of releasing all doubt, all worry, all fear, all pain, all frustration, all anger, all of those negative states. Anything that you may still have within yourself, you're going to go ahead and just release it. You're going to set an intention that all of the negativity leaves you. And you're going to trust that this intention becomes manifest. Just let it all go. Release, release. Allow yourself to purify your inner consciousness so that you are resonating to a single frequency of faith, a single frequency that also includes love and power. And all of this divine essence of who you truly are inside becomes your entire reality for the moment. Just release everything. Go as deeply within yourself as you possibly can. Focus as intensely as you possibly can on the inner power that is the essence of who you are. And when you feel that you have released enough, that there is nothing left to release, you can now turn your focus to embracing the essence of who you are, that love, that power, that faith, that integrity, that strength, the truest nature of your authentic self, and embrace the core, the essence, the source of you, and allow yourself to renew yourself. Allow yourself to be renewed in this process. And know that it is all good. Know that this is the point of power. This is where the future begins. And from this point, all good things grow. And because you are a divine being, you have infinite potential. You have the entire power of the universe at your command. Anything you would like to manifest becomes easy to manifest because you do have infinite possibilities. Everything that you can possibly want will come to you easily because you have the power to do anything. You have the faith to make anything happen. You have the focus to channel this divine power along a single line so that it is most effective at manifesting whatever you choose. And just to reinforce this power that you have within yourself, turn your attention to some idea, something that you know for an absolute fact it is real and true. And notice the feeling of truth and reality within yourself. And focus all of your attention on this feeling, this idea of truth and reality. And imagine this feeling growing stronger. Notice how it grows, how it becomes much more than it was. Imagine it becoming bigger and stronger and more powerful and intense, until there is not one cell in your being that is not vibrating with this idea, this feeling of absolute truth, absolute reality. This is real. You are real and powerful. And so is your ability to manifest whatever you want to create into your life. You have the power to manifest anything. There is nothing that can stand between you and your desired objectives, because, as we learned earlier, there is only one power in the universe. And because there is only one power in the universe, there is nothing that can stand in front of this power and resist it. There is nothing that can resist you and your intentions. You have the power to overcome everything. This is the truth of who you are. This is the truth of your reality. And whatever past you may have experienced, that is just an illusion. That was based on a false belief that you were limited. But now you have released your limits. You have released those limitations. You have released that belief. And you have now embraced the truth of who you are, because you are an unlimited divine being with the power to perform miracles. And this is the essence. This is the nature of your life pathway from this moment forward, because from this point on, you will always have this power. And so we project this power out into the future, along your timeline, along your pathway of life. Imagine the light of this power illuminating the pathway of your life, so that you will always know who you are, what you are, and what you can do. And so you can bring this awareness with you as you come back into the room, come back into your body, and prepare yourself for a new life of wondrous miracles. And as we said at the beginning of this video, this is just the halfway point of the 7-day process. We still have 3 more days to go. So I'll see you again in the next video. And until then, be blessed, my friend.